Oh, greetings and welcome. So this is going to be part 9. Uh, it might be the last part in this series of the Doctrine of Satan. Um, so yeah, let's finish this up, and then I'll have an update about my where I plan to go after this. So yeah, let's see. First, so this is my very last point about Satan's destiny. This is the 5th point in my huge Bible study. Satan's destiny. So I've got a few verses on that. So first I'm going to read out of John 16, 8 through 11. So John chapter 16, verses 8 through 11. So John 16, 8 through 11, it says, "And when he has come, he will prove the world of sin and of righteousness and of judgment. Of sin, because they believe not on me. Of righteousness, because I go to my Father, and ye see me no more. Of judgment, because the prince of the world is judged." So the prince of the world is judged. So in verse 11 says the prince of the world. So who's the prince of the world? It's Satan. So that's not Jesus. The prince of the world is not Jesus. It is Satan. So as I mentioned in the previous video, you want to make sure you're reading the Bible correctly, you're interpreting things correctly, because if you don't, you might get some really weird heretical beliefs. So the prince of the world is Satan. So you always want to look at context and understanding verses. So um, that's how heresies start, because people don't read verses in context and don't pray that God gives them understanding. So and if you do that, there's going to be no contradictions in the Bible. So if anybody tells you that there's contradictions in the Bible, they're wrong. They're just not thinking hard. They're just not thinking. Actually, they're probably thinking too hard. They're probably trying to find contradictions that don't actually exist in the Bible. So if you find something that looks like a contradiction, you're just not understanding it right. And you should just pray about it and try to do some studying, and you'll find out that there is no contradiction. You just don't know the Bible well enough yet. So, and it's a skill. It takes time. So John 16, 8 through 11. So this verse says that, the devil, Satan, is the prince of the world, and he's going to be judged. So it's already determined that he will be judged, as I've already mentioned. I don't know how many times, but yeah. At this point, I just feel like I'm going to be repeating myself a lot from the previous videos. Also, my next point is that his work will be destroyed. So 1 John 3, 8. 1 John 3, 8. 1 John chapter 3, verse 8. It says, "He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil." For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. Yeah, so his work is destroyed. So when Jesus died on the cross, he crucified sin on the cross. He crucified the law. And so the devil's work just got destroyed. So, the devil's still going to try to drag people down with him. But, those of us that trusted in Jesus, we're saved. He can't touch us. The devil can't touch us. So he can't touch our soul. He can try to make us miserable on this earth if we allow him to. But he can't touch our souls. Our soul is in God's hand. So the devil can't do anything to it. So his work will be destroyed. Then also he will be triumphed over. So Colossians 2:15. Colossians chapter 2, verse 15. It says, "And having spoiled principalities and powers, he made a show of them openly, triumphing over them in it." So the principalities and powers, as it's mentioned in another verse, that's Satan's realm. The principalities and the powers and the politics and the governments of the world that you want to stay out of, that's under Satan's control. And Jesus triumphed over that. So he's triumphed over Satan. And okay, yeah, it is a future event, but but we know it's going to happen because it's written down. Satan will be triumphed over. He will be cast into the lake of fire, and him and the devil and his angels, and unfortunately, many lost souls of people that didn't trust in Jesus will be there for eternity. So that this is why we're supposed to warn people as Christians. And so it's Colossians 2:15. So Satan will be triumphed over, and that is a prophecy that will happen. Also, Satan is under a perpetual curse. Genesis 3:14. So notice the Bible talks quite a bit about Satan. If you go to Genesis 3:14, it says, "And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all of the days of thy life. Thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field, and upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life." So that was God cursing Satan when he was the serpent. So Satan, you're going to be cursed upon all of this stuff. And now, I mean, it's kind of interesting because Satan's already cursed anyway. When he fell from heaven, he got cast out of heaven, and along with 1/3 of his angels. So they're all on the earth, and then even further, he gets cursed again. But anyway, he is under perpetual curse. But he already knew he was cursed. He just tried to take down others with him, and he was very successful because he did deceive Adam and Eve, and he basically ruined their lives and just pretty much all of their descendants, us. We got dragged into it. So the beast of the field upon and death shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. So there you go. So he is under perpetual curse, Genesis 3:14. Also, he is still eating dust in the millennium. Wow, that's an interesting verse. Genesis 3:14. So he says he's still eating dust. So let's go to Isaiah 65:25. Isaiah 65:25. So Isaiah actually has a lot of verses about like the millennium at the end of the book. So Isaiah is a very interesting book because it actually has a lot of prophecy relating to these types of things. So Isaiah chapter 65, verse 25. It says, 65:25. The wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock. And dust shall be the serpent's meat. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, saith the Lord. And dust shall be the serpent's meat. It's very interesting. So all these other animals are all happy and everything, but the serpent, Satan, he's eating dust. Now it's not just, it's not just dust. It's quite a bit worse than that. It's hell. But it's a very interesting verse, not just because of that reference about that reference from Genesis, to be remembered in Isaiah. God doesn't forget what he said. When he promises something, it happens, and he does reference. The Bible does reference past passages and makes connections. So what's also interesting is that since this verse is talking about the millennium, it's talking about the wolf and the lamb eating together. So this is going a little off topic, but it says the wolf and the lamb shall feed together. So, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock. So they're not killing each other. That's what's interesting about the millennium. In the millennium, we're going to have peace. So even the animals are going to get along. So the animals won't be violent. They won't be killing each other. You could say they're vegetarians, actually. It's very interesting that. So you'll be able to have a pet, like a pet lion, a pet leopard or something, and that'll be fine. It won't kill you. You won't have to worry about some vicious animal killing you because everybody gets along, and the animals are all great and everything. So everybody turns into like a vegetarian. It's kind of interesting. So the millennium, it's just completely different atmosphere that we can't even imagine, and it's just a shadow of eternity. it's kind of showing what eternity will be like. Because first you have the millennium, then you have eternity, and those are different. Those are different times. Those are different places actually. So anyway, he's still eating dust in the millennium, which is very interesting. And finally, he will be cast into like a fire. So this is going to be my last set of verses. I have 2 more verses, and so that's it. But basically, all of this stuff I talked about how scary Satan was, all he can do in his character, and all that over the last 8 videos, and then finally, at the end, he's cast into like a fire. So you don't have to fear him. Take him seriously. Don't underestimate him. But you have God on your side. You can fight him. You can fight off Satan. But eventually, he's cast into the lake of fire. So I've got 2 verses on that. Matthew 25:41. Matthew chapter 25, verse 41. Matthew chapter 25, verse 41. It says, then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. So Satan will be there. The devil will be in hell with his angels. And that's what hell was prepared for. Hell was originally prepared for the devil and his angels. People were not intended to go there. But that's what ended up happening. And people are going there. And that's why we warn people. But that was not the original intention. The original intention was hell was just for the devil and his angels. For the first people, the first beings that fell. But they had to, the devil obviously tried to take down others with him. So that he will be there in hell for eternity. And then also Revelation 20:10. Revelation chapter 20, verse 10. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. This is very interesting, actually. So, not only does it say the devil is going to be cast into the lake of, to the lake of fire for all eternity, tormented day and night forever and ever, but also it says the beast and the false prophet are there. So it's interesting. Like I already mentioned in the previous video, you have like this satanic trinity. So you have the devil, the beast, and the false prophet. And it is possible that that is a satanic trinity, very much like, we have a holy trinity. And it just goes to show that, as always, Satan is going to try to be an imitator of God, and he will fail. But anyway, let's go a little off topic. What I want to end it on there is that Satan will, in fact, end up in hell. Revelation 20:10. So I just went through like how many different verses? 7 different verses. So yeah, I went really fast on that. Usually I talk forever on just one verse. So yeah, that ends part 9 of this video. But anyway, that's Satan's end. Like that's where he's going to end up, in hell. So don't go there with him. Get saved, trust in Jesus. So you don't have to go there. It's in the Bible it says God is not willing that any should perish. So you don't have to end up like Satan. God gives, Jesus Christ, God gives you an offer to be saved. So anyway, that ends part 9. After this video, I'm probably going to take this channel a different to a different direction. I don't exactly know what. I probably will maybe do shorts, like shorter videos. These long ones, unfortunately, don't always end up getting watched. And maybe something a little more, I don't know. I'm going to think of other ideas. I probably won't be posting as often, but I'm going to try to continue this channel and see what the Lord does with it. But I am going to have to change directions because the videos just really aren't being like watched at this point. Who knows? Maybe 1 or 2 years from now, I'll look back at this video and see, how the channel blew up and it grew a lot. But at this point, it's just not happening. Like I've got like 27 subscribers and I've made like 70 5-ish. No, it's like 70. It's like I think I've got like over 75 videos at this point. So it's a lot, and it's just there's just people aren't really watching it. So I'm gonna try to take the channel a different direction, and see what the Lord does with it. So yeah, I'll see you next time.